Wonder who is painting a better picture for America. Campaign spending. Trump raised $381, spent $354. Only $10.4 million was spent on staff. Kamala, billion, spent $1.37 billion. $582 was spent on staff.
Can I say something about once?
Let me just say, I'm going to come straight to you right after this because if you can, when you go like a guy asked me a question, hey, can you give some money to our charity? What percentage of the money is spent on staff? It's the first question I ask. If you can send me what percentage of the money is spent on staff, I'll give you the money. Oh, our CEO makes $670. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not doing that because the money's not going to the people. Okay. Oh, we don't spend that much money on staff. It's this much. No problem. Here's 50K. Here's 10K. Here's 100K. Based on what's being spent. When you see a structure like this and numbers like this, and then you get stories that they gave apparently Beyonce $10 million. They gave Call Her Daddy $100,000 to build a studio that they could have built for, what, $5,000, Rob, or whatever that was. They gave Oprah Winfrey $1 million. I bet Oprah's pissed off that they gave Beyonce 10 times what they gave her. Now, these are numbers that we're reading about, right? Is this the one, Rob?
Yeah.
Play this clip and I'll go to Charlie. Go ahead.
$10 million for Beyonce to step up and back Kamala Harris publicly. $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion. $3 million for Lizzo. $1.8 million for Eminem. I mean, is that normally how it goes? You spend $20 million, you get yourself in debt to try to get a bunch of rich celebrities on stage? I'd never seen that. Maybe I'm ignorant of the fact, but wow.
Charlie.
A couple thoughts. So we ran one of the more criticized and now very silent outside groups that helped Donald Trump. So we had a super PAC and a 501c4, and we were attacked. And you guys can look at the articles almost every day. Donald Trump's unproven ground game. You probably saw these articles, right, Chris? I mean, it was a narrative, right, that Donald Trump does not have a ground game. Well, they were talking about what Turning Point and Elon were doing, and we would continually tell the media, like, well, we're actually delivering results. We've registered tens of thousands of people. We're chasing ballots. And the Kamala campaign was running this massive op where a lot of consultants made money where they'd be like, well, we knocked on 18 million doors this weekend or something. And I'd say, well, how many ballots did you put in the box? I mean, how many votes did you actually bank in the early voting period? And we were able to disclose all those numbers in real time as they were happening. And something is amiss. Somebody made a lot of money on this Kamala campaign, like a lot. I don't know who, but I could tell you, being around campaigns a lot, $1 billion spent in 90 days and ending up in debt with very, very little to show for it, it's highly unusual. And it is the opposite of what happened in 2020. And again, the Trump campaign team deserves great credit. In 2020, the Trump campaign team ran out of money and was bankrupt by late September. You can find that article, Trump campaign team financial woes 2020. It was like September or October. Donald Trump in 2020, he started with $1 billion cash advantage, and that team spent it almost all the way down, right? If you could go down, it's I'm sure you can find it somewhere there. Yeah, in financial peril. Yep, that's it right there. How Trump's $1 billion campaign lost its cash advantage. New York Times, what's the date there on that article?
September 7th, 2020.
My memory's right on. And that's Shane and Maggie, the two best that the New York Times has to offer on this. And literally, Trump was in a financially perilous position. The Trump campaign saved their powder and was able to then outspend the Kamala campaign the last 2 weeks. The final point I'll make is this. All those totals don't count the outside money for Kamala Harris. It doesn't count the super PACs. It doesn't count the 501c4s. And it goes to show that money cannot alone win a White House, that a movement can triumph over a well-funded machine.
Yeah, that's true. And it always has been. Look, my father lost a bunch of elections before he won one. And nobody wanted him. He was an outsider. He was an ethnic. Now I'm a white guy.
At a time that it was a big deal, Italian.
One generation different, right? But he had to be mobbed up. Mercurial Mario, they called him, which was just a code for being an Italian guy. And it was about the people who wanted him to empower them. That's why he won. He beat Lou Lehrman in 1982, who was the head of Rite Aid drugstores. And he had all the money. He had all the cachet. He had all the polish. When they did their debate, my father made a moment with him where he shook his hand and he turned his wrist and he said, wow, that's a nice watch. Because he had like this big timepiece on. And so it didn't matter how much he was outspent because the people win. That's the beauty of our country, is that the people can still win. But it's getting harder and harder.
It should give a lot of people hope, even though you're outspent 3-1 and the media is completely against you. You could still overcome that.